Health education in gerontological nursing is important because it empowers older adults to manage their chronic illness. Good day everyone, this is Dr. Mai, your gerontological nursing lecturer. And in this lecture, I am going to discuss about health education in chronic illness for older adults. First, let us go back to the meaning of chronic illness. It refers to a long-term conditions that generally progress slowly and require ongoing management. So in older adults, chronic diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, arthritis, and heart failure are highly prevalent, affecting their physical, emotional, and social well-being. These illnesses often coexist, adding complexity to care and daily living. Our nursing health education becomes an important component in managing chronic illness among the elderly because it gives them the power to understand their conditions. Likewise, they adhere to treatments and make lifestyle changes that enhance their quality of life. So proper education helps them to prevent disease complications, recognize early warning signs, and maintain functional independence. So in the care of older adults, a holistic approach is necessary, addressing not only the physical but also the emotional, social, and spiritual needs of older adults. Care of older adults should focus on specializing knowledge and skills to care for aging populations where health education plays the lead role. Let's talk about the common chronic conditions which affect older adults. Okay. We have the diabetes, hypertension, and arthritis. Okay. Older adults frequently experience multiple chronic diseases that significantly impact their health and daily functioning. Some of the prevalent conditions include diabetes, which is a metabolic disorder characterized by high blood sugar levels, causing complications like neuropathy, kidney disease, and cardiovascular problems. Hypertension means the persistent high blood pressure, contributing to heart disease, stroke, and kidney damage. Arthritis is a degenerative joint disease causing pain, stiffness, and loss of mobility. COPD or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease is a group of lung diseases that cause breathing difficulty and reduced oxygen exchange, while heart failure is the heart's inability to pump blood effectively, leading to fatigue, fluid retention, and reduced quality of life. These diseases often coexist, necessitating complex management and comprehensive health education tailored to multi-morbidity. Okay. Let's talk about the impact of chronic illness on physical, mental, and social well-being of our elderly patients. Okay. Chronic illness affects multiple dimensions of an older adult's life. On physical activity, the effect is usually reduced mobility. This is because of chronic pain, fatigue, sensory impairments, and increased vulnerability to injuries and infections. Under mental, there is increased risk of depression, anxiety, cognitive decline, and emotional distress due to prolonged illness and functional limitations. While on social, they experience social isolation from family and social networks, loss of roles, and decreased participation in community activities, which impact the overall quality of life. So understanding these multidimensional effects will help us provide a more holistic care and education addressing more than just physical symptoms. The aging process and its influence on disease prevention and management. Okay. The physiological and functional changes that accompany aging influence how chronic diseases manifest and respond to treatment. First of its effect is the slower metabolism and organ function. These changes in liver and kidney function affect lung metabolism and clearance, requiring careful medication management. There is also altered immune responses, where there is decreased immunity, which increases susceptibility to infections and slow healing. Sensory deficits, which causes impaired vision, hearing, and tactile sensation, can complicate symptoms recognition and communication. And another one is the cognitive changes. These may be mild memory loss or decreased processing speeds, which can affect learning and adherence to treatment plans. So these changes requires that health education be adapted to older adults' capacities, emphasizing clear communication, simple instructions, and reinforcement. Let's talk about principles of health education in gerontological nursing. Okay. First of the principle which we need to consider will be the holistic approach. It should include body, mind, and spirit. Health education for older adults with chronic illness must address not only physical aspects, but also psychological, social, and spiritual dimensions. This holistic perspective recognizes that well-being depends on multiple interrelated factors. So, our education or our health education should promote balance among body, mind, and spirits. Okay. Our health education should be patient-centered. Okay. Patient-centered education tailored to individual needs, preferences, or learning abilities. Educational strategy should be customized to the unique conditions, cognitive abilities, cultural background, and preferences of each older adult. Since aging affects how older adults learn and process information, teaching methods must be adaptive, considering sensory impairments, literacy level, and emotional readiness. Okay. Next principle is promoting self and autonomy. One key goal of health education in care of the older adult is empowering older adults to manage their chronic conditions independently to the greatest extent possible. This will involve teaching skills for medication management, symptom monitoring, and lifestyle adjustments, fostering confidence and decision making. Okay. Another principle is cultural sensitivity and respect for diversity. Older adults come from diverse cultural and ethnic backgrounds that influence their health beliefs and practices. Therefore, our health education must be culturally competent, respecting traditions and values while providing clear, relevant information that acknowledges differences. The use of evidence-based practice and education strategies will focus on education interventions that are guided by current evidences and best practices in gerontological care. This ensures that teaching methods and content are significantly or scientifically sound, effective, and appropriate for the aging population. Okay. What are the key areas of our health education for chronic illness management? Okay. First, medication management and safety. Second, nutrition and hydration. Third, physical and mobility preservation. Fourth, pain management techniques. Fifth, stress reduction and mental health support. Sixth, prevention of complication and early detection of symptoms. And lastly, use of assistive devices and technology. Now, how can we strategize to come up with an effective health education? First of all, remember to use simple, clear communication and use of relatable examples. Second, the use of teach back methods to ensure understanding of what you have taught. Next, providing written materials and resources suitable for older adults. You can also involve family members and caregivers in education. Utilize community resources and support groups so that you know that the strategies that you will use in educating our elderly patients will be more effective. However, despite all this, or despite our effort to strategize our health education, there could still come up some challenges and ethical considerations that we might encounter. So if this happen, it is advisable that you address cognitive impairment and sensory deficits so that you can be effective in your strategies and in health education, managing ethical dilemmas in chronic illness care, and lastly, balancing autonomy with safety concern. So that concludes my discussion about health education in chronic illness among elderly clients. So I hope you have learned something in this lecture. So thank you very much again for listening.